With that, we come to the next keynote, which is by SecureLayer7 on fraud attacks and security measures in digital commerce. For this, I would request Jinendra Khubare, Senior Solutions Architect, on stage for this segment.
Thank you for the introduction. So today is my last talk for the day, so I'll keep this quick. So today I'm going to talk about fraud, attacks, and security measures in digital commerce. Now, before I proceed ahead, let me give you an introduction of SecureLayer7 as an organization. We are more than a decade-old organization, and we have been serving more than 300 customers over these years. So now, while interacting with these customers, we understood that there were some issues in the market that we can help out with. So that is how we came up with two solutions, that is Bugdaz and SenseFRX. Bugdaz is a PTAS, that is Pentest as a Service platform, and SenseFRX is an online fraud prevention solution. Today in this session, I am going to cover on what SenseFRX is and how it can help you secure your digital business. Hi, I am Jinendra Khubare, and I am Senior Solution Architect at SenseFRX. Now, for any digital business, they have a user journey. So for any user journey, these are the 4 critical touch points that generate revenue for the digital business. First being account registration, wherein the user comes and signs up on some form and creates account on the platform. Second being account login. In some cases, it can be guest login too, where the user enters some shipping address, billing address, something like that, and performs a transaction to purchase some good. Third being the actual purchase of good that happens on the platform. This good can be a physical good or else a digital good as well. Even in the service case, it can be any physical service delivery or a digital service delivery too. And fourth being delivering of goods or services to the customer. In case of banks, maybe this can be funds delivered into your account. In case of an e-commerce, it can be a physical device. In case of a theme marketplace, it can be a theme delivered into your account. Maybe you're purchasing some sensitive data, so that data can be delivered into your account. These 4 are the critical touch points for any digital business that contributes towards the revenue for that business. So these 4 touch points are specifically targeted by the fraudsters to perform frauds on the platform. So what can you do? What you can do is you apply obstacles on these 4 touch points. Imagine yourself walking on an airport security, wherein the airport security asks to remove your bag, your shoes, your belts, whatever you're carrying, you put it in the scanner, it goes through the scanning machine. You yourself walk through the metal detector, you are being scanned. In the same way, each and every user out there who is visiting on your platform, they have to go through some obstacles. So the fraudster specifically targets these obstacles. He tries to find some exploit in these obstacles to try and bypass it and gain access of the account and perform some fraudulent activity. So when I say fraudulent activity, can you think of any fraudulent activity that can happen over these touch points? Okay, let me take you through those fraudulent activities. So these are the various fraudulent activities that can happen. One being account takeover, everyone might be familiar with it. If I'm able to gain access of your credentials by any means, maybe I've cracked it, maybe I've downloaded it from some dark web, and using those stolen credentials, if I'm able to log in into your platform and gain access of your account, then you can say that the account has been taken over. In some cases, there are OTPs involved too, right? So what if even the OTPs are being stolen by using some rat tool that is installed on your mobile? I'm able to gain access of your OTP too. And I'm able to gain access of your account. That is when we say that account takeover has happened. In case of payment, if payment frauds happen, in that case it contributes towards chargebacks for the company. There can be promotion abuse. Like recently we had a chat with one of our customers, which is basically a grocery delivery platform. What they had a promotion wherein on new sign up, for first 3 deliveries, you were getting free deliveries regardless of minimum amount. So there was a customer who was continuously making new accounts using different SIM cards, one of his own, one of his mother, father, sister, his siblings. Using that, he was creating multiple accounts and placing deliveries to get free deliveries as much as possible. In the same way, they were not much worrying about the customer side, but they were worrying about the partner side, because even when the partners are onboarded, they get higher incentives for the initial onboarding days that they have onboarded on the platform. So the partners were also exploiting this. They were using multiple SIM cards, creating multiple accounts, and they were placing multiple orders. They were getting multiple orders and higher incentives against it. This is how promotional abuse is happening. Now, not necessary that any payment fraud is happening through payments. It can even happen through loyalty points or reward points. So any of these touch points, when they're exploited to perform these kind of activity, that is when we say that fraudulent activity is happening. Now, how can you take care of these fraudulent activities? How can you prevent users from these kinds of frauds from happening? You have to implement some obstacles. And if you're implementing those obstacles, that simply means that you're adding more friction to the user, hampering their customer experience. So how do you take care of this? Wherein you ensure that there are not too many obstacles out there, yet at the same time, we secure the users on the platform. That is where SenseFRX comes in. So what we do is we do adaptive authentication as soon as SenseFRX is integrated into your product, be it mobile application or an online platform. We integrate specifically into those 4 touch points which I just mentioned, that is registration, authentication, transactions wherein purchase is performed or delivery is performed. So as soon as we are integrated, we perform device fingerprinting, and for each and every touch point, we generate a risk score. So as soon as the user is attempting for registration, a registration score is generated, and against that, we generate a risk score, and we tell you whether the user should be presented with some kind of an obstacle or not. And only after the user clears the challenge or obstacle is the user given access of the platform. And we understand that the importance of raw session data and the importance of sensitive data too. So we have encryption in place which ensures that the data is not open to public. At the same time, we give a seamless experience to the genuine users who are trying to come on the platform. So we have curated a demo for you. So in this demo, what happens is we have a simulator which will perform live credential stuffing attack. And when I say that live credential stuffing attack is happening, with each and every attempt, the username and password both will be changing. So here a device is being added, and with each attempt, the username and password both will change. And at the same time, the IP address will also change. You can see it here. The location will also change. So what happens is with each and every attempt, if all the device parameters are continuously changing, then for the solution, it gets very difficult to identify whether this is a genuine customer who is trying to log in or whether this is some kind of a fraudster. So what happens is SenseFRX is successfully able to identify that credential stuffing attack is happening. Now, while you're having a look at this, I'll also take you through a few of more validators that we have. Suppose that there is this was a specific use case that happened with one of our customers, wherein there was a business email compromise. The email was sent through an illegitimate source, but which seemed like a legitimate source. And the user opened the link. It was a phishing website. So on the phishing website, when the user was entering the credentials, at the same time, the fraudster was entering the right credentials on the genuine website. It asked for OTP on the phishing website, and in the genuine website also it asked for OTP. So the user entered the OTP there, and the user was able to log in. So that is how they bypassed it. So in this case, what happens is SenseFRX is able to identify that the behavioral biometrics is not matching. This is one of the examples. There is one more validator in place wherein we identify the ticket size behavior. We map his usual devices, locations, his usual behavior. Maybe whenever he logs in, he visits the mobile page. He's checking what are the various mobile that are available on the market. Or maybe he's an avid traveler and he's checking out the luggage bags that are available out there. Now, all of a sudden, there is a fraudster who has come and is directly going to the profile page and trying to update the email or password. Now, this is deviation from his usual behavior. Now, due to this deviation, the risk score will jump up. And at the same time, if we observe that his usual device is not in place, his IP is not in place, that again contributes towards the risk score jump. So as the risk score jumps, then the challenge is presented. So each user will not be treated like a cyber criminal. Only the users with the high risk score or who are deviating from the usual behavior, only for them adaptive authentication is placed and challenge is presented. Now, depending on the risk score, the challenge can be a lighter one or the challenge can be a more stringent one, depending on the risk score of the user. Similarly, we have a validator in place for account sharing as well. So if you have a LMS solution or an OTT solution where you want the account to be shared with limited number of people, but you have observed that the account is being shared by multiple people, then it will identify that the account is getting shared. So here you can see that the credential stuffing attack happened, and we were able to successfully identify, and the risk score jumped to 99. So what happens in this case is, as the risk score is 99, the user will be denied from logging in. He will be presented with a very stringent verification system where he has to verify that it is indeed himself, and they are able to mitigate the fraud then and there and clear the incident and able to log in into the platform. Now, similarly, we have a few more detectors in place for the way we have for credential stuffing. In the similar way, we have for payments as well. I just now mentioned the ticket size behavior is also there. There is one more fraud which is relevant in the market right now, which is called as friendly fraud. That is, someone is placing an order and then he is denying that the order has been placed by himself, which we call as friendly fraud. So that also we are able to identify. We have validators for that also in place. So this is what sums up how SenseFRX works. Let me also tell you that the aim of SenseFRX is not just preventing frauds. When you prevent frauds, at the same time, it not only affects the financial assets, it definitely affects your mental health too, and it leads to losing trust in the institution and affects the societal well-being too. So when we are preventing frauds, we are not just preventing stealing of financial assets, but at the same time, we are ensuring that the society remains a trustful place to be. Thank you. That sums up my presentation. If you have any questions, I'll be open to answer. Any questions? Okay. Thank you. So you can connect with me.
Can we have a token of our appreciation come out to our speaker?